Hello guys, welcome to Mike's Take On, and today I'm going to give you my take on this, which is the Scythe Kaze Server fan controller for PCs. Now this is sort of a mid-range fan controller, costs just over £30 in the UK or just over 40 US dollars in the US obviously. So I don't know, it's a little bit pricier than some other fan controllers, but in terms of the features that you get, personally I do think it's worth it. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the box and the features of the device, and then unboxing, and then my thoughts on how the device works. So here we got the Scythe Kaze Server fan controller. It is a 5¼ inch bay device. Takes one 5¼ inch slot. It's got 3 different modes here. So it's got manual, semi-auto and auto. And if you want a bit more information on those, you can look on the top here. And I may as well explain it to you now. So basically how it works is manual, obviously you get full control manually. You control it with the little dials here. So you can control up to 4 fans at a time in manual mode. And auto and semi-auto mode, how these work are you need to install the temperature probes first, and in auto mode the fans are turned off by default, so completely off, and you set a sort of like a warning level temperature yourself, and anytime that the temperature goes above that warning level, then the fans will basically turn, I think they turn full speed until the temperature drops below that warning level, after which in auto mode it'll go straight back to or they'll turn off basically in auto mode. So auto mode is for those who like to keep the PCs quiet, and then semi-auto mode is similar, but instead of just turning off, you can set a minimum fan speed. So if you want a constant airflow throughout the PC case, you can set the minimum fan speed and then a warning level temperature, and then if it goes above that temperature, obviously it'll speed up, and then once it goes below that warning temperature, it'll go back down to the that minimum fan speed that you set. So 3 different modes there, and nice variety and nice control of the fans there. You can turn the display on and off, which is nice, you know, if you want to sleep or something and you don't want to be disturbed by the lights. You can turn the display off, and the device will still function and still control the fans even when they're turned off. It's got an emergency beep, so if it goes above a very high temperature or one of the fans fails or something, then the device beeps to let you know that there's a problem. On the side here, we've got a bit more technical information. So if you just want to pause the video, if you're interested in that. I will say that it controls the fans by voltage, and I've actually heard it says the 0 to 9,990 RPM. I've heard reports of people who run high RPM fans having problems in terms of heat generated, and apparently it gets very hot, the device, and it actually affects the lifespan of the fans. So that's just something to keep in mind if you do run very high RPM fans. You might want to do a bit more research into that if you are considering this. So on the back here, just a bit more information on what you're getting in the box. So obviously you get the controller itself, you get 1 power cable, you get 6 thermal sensors. Now you can actually only install 4 at a time, but apparently these thermal sensor cables are quite prone to damage and breaking, so they give you 2 extra ones, which is nice. 4 fan cables to connect up the fans. It comes with its own adhesive tape to connect the temperature probes, which is nice, and again that's 6 pieces. And then 4 mounting screws to secure it into the bay, and then just below that a bit of information of the actual components of the fan controller. So yeah, that's the box, and it's a pretty nice box, I've got to say. Very informative, and gives you pretty much all the information about what you're getting with the device. Just straight on the box there. So yeah, let's just have a quick look here. So it comes with a protective film on the screen there to protect it from scratches or whatever. Obviously you should take that off when you actually install it. I'm just going to leave it on just now because my fans haven't arrived yet. So I'm going to wait until my fans arrive until I install it. Anyway, protective film, display on/off button there on the top left. 4 speed dials, little buttons beside it, a little reset button, which looks like you'll have to use a paper clip for that. And the nice thing about these dials is you can actually tell when you twist it. If I just put it next to the microphone here, hopefully you could hear that. Basically, it's got like little ridges, so every time you twist it, you can actually tell when you've twisted it, which is nice. So it's just not completely smooth, and you can actually tell when you twist it. You can also press these buttons in to set stuff. If you read the instruction manual, it'll explain in more detail about that stuff. But yeah, overall it looks very nice. It's got this sort of brushed metal look. Just focus that in there. So, brushed metal, looks very cool, and nice design. Just have a quick look on the back here. So here you've got the speaker for for any problems which may arise. Jumper to set it on and off, right there. What else have you got? Temperature sensors, connectors right there. Celsius and Fahrenheit jumper, so you can set it to display either Celsius or Fahrenheit, which is a nice feature, just right there. So yeah. What else have you got? Yeah, fan connectors. I'm guessing that's the power connector, and that looks to be about it. Alright, so this part of the video might be a bit shaky, so I apologise. I'm having to hold the webcam by hand, but hopefully it's okay. But anyway, this is the device installed, fully working and stuff. In terms of the installation process itself, I don't know, it was okay, but I did run into a few problems that I didn't anticipate. So first off, it was nice that the wires are all separate, and I suppose they're modular in that sense. So that helps with the sort of the wire mess and the wire problems and stuff. So if you're into cable management, I suppose that helps a little bit. But the temperature probes, I really did have a problem installing. Basically, trying to find space as close to the core component as possible. If you don't have the right case, then it can be a real hassle installing the temperature probes. So for example, I've got an Antec 300 case, and it's okay, but cable management and stuff isn't that great, and in order to install the temperature probe to the back of the motherboard, where the CPU is, which is one place where people advise you to put the temperature probe, to install it on the back of the motherboard, I basically had to take everything out, take the motherboard out, and install it onto the back, which is really a pain. And some cases do have a little hole cut out on the back of the motherboard tray bit to help with installation of heat sinks and stuff, I think. But mine doesn't, and taking everything out was just a real hassle. And also the adhesive tape that it comes with is actually not all that great, and I actually used up all 6 pieces just installing these 3 temperature probes. So really, I would advise you to get some better thermal tape or something, just something stronger. And also, if you are planning to install the temperature probes and you don't have a good case, accessible case, I should say, then I would generally advise you to install it on a day that you got a lot of time to take everything out and install the probes. Alright, so overall, in terms of how the device works, I'm really happy with the performance. So up here you've got the power on and off for the display. The little dials you can press in to switch between the 3 different modes. So there's auto, and you can see it shoot. It's right up there. Semi-auto, and then manual. You can use that to turn the fans completely off, and then every time you turn the dial a little bit, it goes up in steps of 30 RPM. So pretty precise control there. The little button on the side of the dial, that's to control the temperature or the RPM in auto or semi-auto mode. So if you see here, this fan's in auto mode, and if I press that, it's asking me what the maximum temperature I want before the fan goes to full speed or whatever. And then if I just show you in semi-auto mode, temperature, and then it asks you what RPM, the minimum RPM you want the fans to be running at all the time in semi mode. So that's what that button on the side there does. Let me just switch that back to auto. So yeah, the device works very well. One thing I will say though is the temperature probes, in my case, because I installed them in places that weren't as close to the core as I expected or as I'd hoped to, the temperatures are a bit off. So here you can see that's my hard drive temperature, main hard drive I should say, CPU, and then graphics card on the end. So it's saying I've got a temperature of 37 degrees right now, but if I've got core temp running right now, and if I show you what core temp is saying, you can see there that I'm actually running at about between 40 and 46, 48. So I don't know. It's not really as accurate as I would hope. And then if I show you also ATI tool to show you what my graphics card is saying, you can see that it says I've got graphics card temperature of 44, 45ish, and then it's saying 40 to 42 on the fan controller. So it's not 100% accurate, but I suppose it's close enough. You could probably get it a lot more accurate if you actually take the time to install the temperature probes as close to the core as possible. I ran out of patience and I just installed them to wherever I could, which is that's a bit stupid of me. But overall I'm pretty happy with the temperature accuracy and all that, and really happy with the device and how it works and everything. And yeah, so that's just a quick review of the Scythe Kaze fan server. Thanks for watching, and see you later.